One thing I saw on your LinkedIn profile is that you said that you were a rugby player.
I was, yeah, I'm very competitive. Um, yeah, I started playing rugby actually quite late in life. So I started while I was at university, and within about a year and a bit, I was playing at a pretty decent standard. And it's just a really fun sport, and it's just one of those things that I got really obsessed with, got really, really into, and turns out I had a natural ability for it. I did actually stop playing though a couple of years ago, mainly because it's not very good for your brain. And I quite like,
I see, I
keeping
see.
my brain intact. Yeah, there's a lot of concussions in the sport, similar with American football, right?
Yep, yep.
Um,
What would you say then are some of the parallels or maybe even the lessons that you carried over from rugby into even being a founder of your own startup today?
yeah, it's a really good question. I don't know if like your listeners will be familiar with rugby, so I guess I'll talk a bit about like the culture as well of like the way that rugby works. So there's a couple things and that I'll try and pull out. One of the things that I want to pull out is that rugby is not a very enjoyable sport for like 95% of the time. And most people on the pitch are just doing like grunt work. And then there's one person that'll score the try and like be really flashy. I guess it's kind of like an American football, right? We have all these people, doing, defensive work, and then you have that one person score the touchdown. But in rugby, like you don't celebrate goals or tries as like an individual person's goal or try. You celebrate it as the team, because everyone had to do all of this awful grunt work in order to get you there and push you forward. And I think that's something I've really taken from it, is this element of like, it's really hard. We're going to stick together. We're going to pull through together. And, at the end, we'll succeed, but it'll be all of us that are succeeding, which I think is really wonderful. I was playing one of the positions that is more of the grunt worky kind of thing. I'm very tall. I'm like 5'11". So I was definitely that person that was, putting in a lot of grind and not necessarily, scoring all the flashy tries. And I think there's like a great amount of like resilience that you learn from that, and just kind of like you just got to keep trucking element that you learn from that, which is really, really nice. I think rugby has one of the nicest team sport mentality, like we're all in this together, that I'm not sure like every sport does. I mean, there was a quote on the side of our locker room: the strength of the wolf is the pack, and the strength of the pack is the wolf. And it's this idea that like we all have to push as hard as we can, and we all have to do it together, and then we'll kind of get where we want to go, which I really love.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly hear those similar sentiments, especially in early company formation, where you probably are maybe a handful of people with a dream and big ideas, and it's you against the world, sort of thing. But certainly the collective is stronger than any like individual,
Exactly.
by himself or herself.
Exactly. And I actually think that's something that is really underappreciated, that I see a lot of teams that I know where the sum of their parts is actually less than them individually. And I think that's like, one of the biggest multipliers you can get in success is if you can add up all of these people, and the result can be greater than all of those people put together. And I think that's amazing. Did you ever play any sports?
I played basketball. I played actually both more individual sports. So I played badminton before in high school, um, and then I really enjoyed playing basketball. Dabble a bit also in volleyball as well. So uh, and a little bit actually of American football, but that was more
Did
just for
you
fun.
do you think you took any of that into who you are as a person?
Oh yeah, for sure. I like to say that, if there was a job or career I could do without having to worry about like money or things like that, it would just be like a basketball coach.
Yeah.
And it's because like I see that, especially in the team-based sports, right? It really is like if a well organized and well, functioning team can for sure outshine even teams that have a superstar, like someone really talented. And that sort of, you can call it underdog spirit, but it's really just this idea that, we all can, despite our own limitations, our whatever shortcomings we have, like we
Yeah.
can achieve something like really great together. So that's what I really
Yeah.
enjoy. And for
It's
me,
really nice.
I've adopted that in my own perspective, like approach to life, where I'm really big into just community overall. Hence even this like podcast where,
Yeah.
right, I'm just trying to meet with you know interesting people, to hear their stories, and to yeah, whether we work together in a formal capacity or not, just see where things go from there. Because we're all journeying through life together and trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, that's really lovely. I really like that.